Watch on the right side of your screen.
One outside over here. Outside.
Ross Chastain used the wall all the way around this racetrack to race his way into the championship four.
This is Automotive ADHD with Matt West.
Man, I love that clip right there. That's Ross Chastain. That was NASCAR probably. Golly, was that already back in 2022? I think it was. It's been a while since you maybe heard that sound clip there. And man, oh man, what a race right there. And if you're listening on the radio, what he did, and there's a reason I'm talking about this now in 2025, what he did is he took that car like seconds before the race was going to end. Everyone's coming up upon the checkered flag. He's several cars behind. He pins that car flat out in the oval here and then goes straight into the wall and rides the wall like you would on an arcade game, like a video game, rides that wall, passes a bunch of cars, and gets into the first couple of cars there. I mean, come on, man. He gets right. I mean, that was incredible. What a way to race, by the way. That is motorsports. That is what we love about motorsports. Now, NASCAR, their reaction to that was perhaps not as they weren't as excited as the fans were, and there now apparently is a rule that you can't do that. But they at the time said, "Well, I guess we got to give it to him. We'll give him a slap on the wrist. That was reckless. That was dangerous. You're bad, and you should feel bad. But we can't really penalize you for it." And then obviously the next race, they go, hey, no one can do this. You're not allowed to do this anymore. Why? Because probably everyone was going to do it. That's probably why. But here's the thing. Racing, I think, has gotten a little too sanitized. I think modern NASCAR itself is too sanitized on its own. The FIA with F1 and these other races, again, too sanitized, too safe. I mean, where's the fun in the motorsports now? It's supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be engaging. And now they want to take that away from us even more. Ford, by the way, this comes by way of Caleb Jacobs from The Drive. Ford reveals Mustang Mach-E NASCAR prototype to show series future with electric SUVs. First of all, there's a couple words that were said in that are already blasphemous. Even let's see, NASCAR future with electric SUVs. It's bad enough if they're electric, but the electric SUVs, come on, man. The crossover virus, you could say, is spreading. Yeah, we get to look at these stupid crossovers driving around all day, every day on our roads. They're actually pretty practical and nice, but we have to look at them still. And now we have to look at them in NASCAR. At least in theory, this might be the future here. Now, what's interesting about this race car that they debuted is it is a 1,300 horsepower prototype, and they debuted this to show what the future could look like. And this car, I will admit, has it has some performance. 1,300 horsepower is no slouch, by the way. That's not bad. They, of course, showed some press pictures of it doing donuts and burnouts, things like that. Of course, smoking some tires. Yes, we all know electric motors can smoke some tires. That's fine. But here's the thing. And they say, by the way, allegedly this is also going to go compete up at Pikes Peak this summer. Now, I love being involved with the Pikes Peak hill climb as a spectator. I go as media as well. Of course, supporting Jimmy Ford, jimmyfordracing.com. Jimmy and his team they are amazing, by the way. A family team that is really competing with, the highest level of, competitive racing. I mean, that's what they're doing, and they're awesome, every one of them. But having said that, when I was at the hill climb last year, I got to see Super Van, which was an electric van that Ford Racing put up there. That thing was scary fast. Scary fast. Also, terrifyingly enough, when it comes to racing on the Pikes Peak Hill Climb, they have to run sirens and noise generators on these electric vehicles because you can't hear these things coming through the trees if you're spectating, you're on the side of the road, or your media, maybe your safety staff, whatever, and you are on the course or next to the course. You can't hear these guys running. The great thing is when you have guys like Jimmy Ford, especially with his car, I'm telling you, you can hear him coming. If you're up on Devil's Playground at the Pikes Peak Hill Climb, which is far up there, you're above tree line, I swear you can hear Jimmy at the starting line. That's how loud his car is. And so, yeah, you know he's coming. You know he's coming. But these electric cars, not so much. Now, sure, you can have a little bit of fun with that. I remember a few years ago I was there. It was the year they had a bunch of fog and nastiness. One of the teams out of Japan had an EV. It was like some souped-up Nissan Leaf thing. And they were told it has to make some sort of noise. So most teams are putting a siren on it, kind of like a police car. Well, what they did is they had it make ice cream truck noises and like kid toy noises. It had like mooing sounds. It had like a bell, had like a squeaky toy, and then an ice cream truck. I'll give them credit for creativity on that. I'll give them credit for that. I would still rather have screaming V8s over ice cream truck noises, but it is unusual when you're hanging out nearly freezing to death at the Pikes Peak Hill Climb, and you hear an ice cream truck coming at you at triple-digit speeds somewhere a couple corners down past the trees. That's an unusual experience. I will say that. But anyway, so with this car, I mean, what can I say about it? I mean, it's an EV. It's a SUV thing. It's modeled to look like the Ford Mustang Mach-E, which is their SUV-based thing that they seem to call a Mustang, which is a crime on its own. But I get it. They make the car. They can call it whatever they want. But here's the thing. I think this is going to ruin NASCAR if they do it. You know, it might be fine in other sanctioning bodies, other types of racing. People are saying, look, we have to accept EV racing. It's just an extra thing. I went on a huge tirade last week about how I think we should have both gas and EVs. We should have both in our lives. And both means, okay, fine, there's going to be some EV racing. But I don't think EVs make compelling race cars. Sure, they're fast. Sure, the course record on Pikes Peak is currently being held by an EV. The problem is they're boring. That's the problem. They're not exciting. It's one thing to be the driver. I'm sure they're tremendously exciting to drive. All of that instant torque, that instant power on tap immediately at the blip of your, I can't call it a throttle pedal, but whatever you call it, the accelerator. That's exciting as a driver. The problem is a lot of racing also has to double as a spectator sport. Yes, the point of the racing is to get, the fastest time possible and be competitive. But secondly, if you want to make any money doing it, it needs to be a compelling spectator sport. You got to sell tickets to fans to pay for the track and all this other stuff, among many other things, many other expenses, and it needs to be exciting. And that's the problem when you go to EV race cars. They are not exciting. I mean, look at it this way. When was the last time you actually watched Formula E? Not Formula One, Formula E. Have you watched it? Are they even doing it still? Nobody knows because it's boring and nobody cares because they're EVs and they're not that exciting to watch. And they have some stupid system where like fans can vote on drivers and give them a little speed boost like a video game. It's really weird. Nobody likes that. And here's the thing. Look, NASCAR, I'm talking to you, NASCAR, directly. We don't need you for entertainment. We don't need you for that. There's other things we can get for entertainment. And I actually was looking into this. I did some thinking. Rare, I know, right? But I did some thinking. What other things? Say NASCAR decides to go EV for some reason and alienate an entire fan base who is literally just there to be at a race and hear the cars, dozens of cars flying past you, screaming V8s at 200 miles an hour. That has a sound. You're picturing that sound right now. You know that sound of all those cars shoom, 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 flying by. You know that sound. I mean, come on. That's part of the excitement. But here's the thing. Here's some other ideas I had. If NASCAR goes EV on this, and the fact that they're parading this around means they're even thinking about it, if they do, we have some alternatives. And this is a list I've put together of things that would be more entertaining than EV NASCAR. And certainly office chair racing, that would be, I could see that reaching near NASCAR levels of competitiveness. That would be very exciting. Video game speedrunners. You ever watch those people do that? They're insane, by the way. I don't think they're human. Airplane racing. That is really cool. Air racing. It's ultra dangerous, twice as dangerous, and twice the cool. Competitive eating, even. That's exciting. I actually worked as a producer at a sports talk radio station, and we had Joey Chestnut on for like 5 minutes, the world champion competitive eater. He was really cool. That was a crowning achievement, by the way, in my broadcasting career. I got to talk to him for like a minute. It was cool. Anyway, barrel racing, that's exciting. Children on tricycles, dogs in hats. Jim Miller running for city council. He's doing that. That is actually exciting. Competitive clown racing. And what else? Oh, how about this? What if we just Google weirdest competitive racing sports? What do we get? Camel racing, ostrich racing, extreme ironing. What's that? Hang on. Extreme ironing is an extreme sport, extreme twice, in which people take ironing boards to remote locations and iron items of clothing. And it's got a picture of a dude standing on like a cliff with an ironing board. That's cool. I'll take it. Chess boxing. That's also cool. Wife carrying. Ooh, here we go. Chariot racing. People still do that. What if we swap out the horses for motorcycles and we go like Mad Max with that? All of this would be more exciting than NASCAR with EVs. And honestly, NASCAR, even without the EVs, because of all the rules and regulations, is, I mean, come on, it's not as entertaining as it used to be. I mean, if you're saying it's as entertaining as it used to be, you're kind of lying to yourself a little bit. It was born in a world of smuggling and bootlegging. I mean, come on, man. Like, it was born in that world, right? And now we have all these petty rules and drama and all of this nonsensical stuff. Jim Miller likes to say that phrase, nonsensical stuff. And he's totally right about that. I mean, look at it this way. Again, NASCAR, we don't need you. We watch you because there's still some excitement to it. We go to your events because, well, yeah, it's still cool to watch the cars go around. And the drivers, man, some of those guys have balls of steel. I'm just saying. But, look at it this way. What would it be? Like NASCAR, if we have to reassess this, if you go EV, then, I guess it could still be fun. But I would rank it somewhere between dogs and hats and maybe wife carrying. So, I don't know. Go figure. Take your pick on that. I like the idea. Competitive ironing. Let's do that. Anyway, you're listening to Automotive ADHD. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go.